I tell you, when I was a kid, I got no respect. No respect at all, you know. The time I was lost on a beach, and a cop had me look for my parents. I said, but the cop, I think we'll find them. He said, I don't know, kid, there's so many places I could hide.
Oh, we're back on the beers. Back on the beers. Back on the beers. Back on the beers. Although Tim likes a bit of a higher shelf, like Dan the Man. I mean, high shelf is one thing, but last time he went to the doctor and gave him a urine sample, it had an olive in it. Rodney Dangerfield. Why, when I was born, I was so ugly. The doctor slapped my mother. Anyway, all right. It's a drum show, isn't it? Okay, not a comedy act. Maybe. Anyway, there you go. So this is our first show back. I mean, myself and a bunch of beautiful people have never really stopped. We just head down, bum up, and did whatever we could. But now it's open, and we've got things happening in one theatre, something else happening in another theatre. I've got this beautiful space back, and look out for the next couple of weeks. This is our first one back. So once again, I'm the guinea pig, and happily so, to work a few things out, and then, guests, and we'll see what goes on, okay? I don't want to give too much away. But with tonight's episode, I did a little thing the other day. I start talking about things like Lego, okay? It's like Lego, I tells you. And what I mean by Lego is that when we're actually putting things together, that's my man Simon over there. Anyway, when we're putting Lego together, what I'm talking about is rudiments and things like that. Now, I'm going to do it a bit of a different way. I'm going to show you a couple of different things that I use like Lego, okay? And what's going to happen is hopefully I can get it started, and then it will, take you out somewhere else. And what we have is I've got this camera here, and I'm going to show you a couple of little things, okay? Now, the first thing is a rudiment that's not really in the pass rudiments or the old 26 standard rudiments, but something that I use all the time is just right, left, left. Mr. John Henry Bottom. Things like that. Ooh. So on it goes, see? That's what goes on. And what can happen with that is then you put it with other things. Now, if you're just doing right, left, left, that's 3. How about if we do 5? So what happens is we have right, left, 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 right, left, left. Hippopotamus, 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 hip. You know who I'm going to say next. It makes Scott Hayward funny in the wee-wee, doesn't it, Scott? There you are, one of the one-take Charlies there, and the Remotes. Oh, what a band. Anyway, Gina Lolla Brita, 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 Gina Lolla Brita. Oh, how many times, mate? But what goes on is this. I'm going to keep on going. So we have 3, 5, and 7, right? Okay, hold on to that for a bit. Now I'm going to go to the paramadoodles. You've got a single paradiddle. Right, left, right, left, right, left, left. Right, so. Double. Do I have to say them? Paradiddle. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Double paradiddle. Paradiddle, paradiddle. Paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. There you go. That's why they're called what they are, you see. And that's their names. Then you've got the triple, which is paradiddle, paradiddle. Now I know this is just a starting point, okay? But what happens is when you say doing a triple, oh, what have we got? There it is there, you see, there's that. Now, what I've given you here is a 3, a 5, a 7, and the 3 paradiddles. That's what I'm going to talk about, okay? Now, when we're dealing with a paradiddle, there is a right side and a left side. That's the idea of them, all right? It's a marching rudiment. And of course, Immigrant Song, I've done that so many times too. But anyway, this is just the start. Then you get to the double and the triple. Now, one of the things that can happen with this kind of stuff is that you can start to mix things up. How about if we think of a paradiddle like 2 beats, right? Just treat them like quavers, so 1 and 2 and then the left side is 1 and 2 and, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Double paradiddle is 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Triple is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean. There you go. So that's what happens. How about if we, if we do a right side single, right, left, right, right, and then a left side double. So you get boom. You've got 5. You see, you've got a 2 and a 3. You see, so you get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and. So boom. And there it is, you see. What happens if we did a single and a triple? So you get. There it is there. Notice I'm accenting the offbeat. You know, you get that. Put it in the rim shot. It's always good to put in a rim shot. I said it about a month ago, you know, sort of thing, because it gives you the backbeat, right? When you're doing odd times and things like that, although that was 4/4, you know, the audience always needs something to hang on to. Oh, shit. Oh, my God, I've lost it. Pardon me. For that little bit, notice that with the hi-hat I'm splashing it on crotchets, and when I'm doing things like I'm thinking about Bill Bruford with King Crimson in the when they came back in the early 80s with those beautiful albums, Discipline and all that sort of stuff, Three of a Perfect Pair, you know, all that sort of stuff, Beat. And they're colour-coded. It's red, blue and yellow, and then they split up. Then they come back. Robert Fripp has always said, we make 3 albums, then we split up. And we come back, make 3 albums, split up. And that's what goes on. So what happens is when I start putting these kinds of mixtures of paradiddles, I hardly even use my bass drum then. There you go. But what happens is that that's very reminiscent of the King Crimson bits of the early 80s and all that. So when you're doing things like that, what happens, I have a little thing in my grade 6 drum set manual, plug. We've got to make a quid somewhere. But what goes on is that I call them paradoddles, having a little doddle, mate. And what it is you take your 3 basic rudiments that everybody should know and have on automatic, all that sort of stuff. And then when you've got that, what goes on is that you start to mix and match them, you see. So when I'm doing a single with a double, that's 2 plus 3. You see, it's 5. Okay, when you're doing, say, a single and a triple, that's 2 plus 4. I got people waving at me. Like I said, the gang's all here, and what it is you've got 2 and 4, so it's 6, 4, and all that. Now that's great for when you're wanting to really sectionalize your odd times, you know, that kind of thing. Now, what starts to happen is that you can actually add them into existing beats and all that. And what starts to go on is that you can really start to get a real busy kind of drum and bass kind of syncopated thing. I think of people like Jojo Mayer for this and all that, but really my heart goes all the way back to the 70s. And who blew me away was none other than Billy Cobham, who used to do this all the time with the Mahavishnu Orchestra. So go away and listen to the Inner Mounting Flame or Birds of Fire or something like that, and you're going to see this in spades, you know, that kind of thing. And what happens with this is that one of the things that happens with when you're getting into funky stuff is you're staying in 4/4, but you're actually playing anything but, you see. It's like continual polymeters and all that sort of stuff. So if I was to sort of go down the track of being a little bit funky, like, one. Now I'm going to count as well. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and this 1 and a 2 and a 3 1 and a 2 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2. That's Lego. You see? That's Lego. You're putting all your paradiddles together and all that sort of stuff, right? So you get that paradiddle, 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 diddle, 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 diddle. I'm starting to go stupid. Paradiddle. Sorry. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. There you go. You've got to be long-winded. And what happens with that is that you can really start to get into some really interesting kinds of things and all that. While I'm on the subject with this, when you're dealing with things like 3, like I did before, hey, and a slip jig. Manic depression searching my soul. Oh, Mitch Mitchell with Jimi Hendrix. The story goes that Jimi Hendrix went to some club. They had an Irish band on, and they were playing a slip jig in 9/8. I've done it again. Thank you, umpire. Come on, come back. And they were playing a slip jig in 9/8. Okay. 9/8. It's like an Irish jig that's in 6, but you have a little slip, and away you go. So, oh, wonderful stuff. Okay, and you tend to dance like that, you know, sort of, you know, a bit vertically. You could go horizontal like Kath and Kim, but that's a whole other beat. There you go. Anyway, And so what goes on is you've got that, and it's threes, right? But what happens is you get right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Put the extra in, dunk, ding, hippopotamus, 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 hippopotamus. Oh, I slipped at the end. Hippopotamus, 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 hippopotamus. I went a little bit funny in the wee-wee down there. Scott Hayward, help. Okay, so what we've got is that, you see. It's a really quirky beat, is a slow, like a 5/8, because you could get that. Now, do you notice that everything there was pretty much based on a right, left, left? Really quirky when you're dealing with things like that, when you're turning it into, say, 5/16. But if you turn it into quintuplets, it's like quintuplet rock. And one of the first times I really heard about that, I was still a teenager, and funnily enough, you're about to think that I'm going to say Frank Zappa, but not. It's actually a New York session guy by the name of Andy Newmark, who played with Brian Ferry in between his Roxy Music gigs. And he was a funky drummer, and I hope he still is. But what happens is you might have a funky beat. And that's right, left, which comes in really handy when you are playing Frank Zappa stuff, when you're dealing with things like Echidna's off of the Roxy and Elsewhere album. There it is there, I hope, in the right hand. When I get my 4-camera shoot, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 down here, because Scott Hayward, I'm mentioning you a lot, apparently Scott Hayward's dad likes my choice of shoes. Kmart, $12. Okay, there you go. There you go. I left the high heels at home, mate. Anyway, that's a whole other story. I get away with it sometimes, I think. Anyway, so there's that. Now, what happens then is we're going off to Gina Land, Lola Brigida, and all that sort of stuff, so you can have... Now, what happens, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Gina, Lola, Brigida, Gina, Lola, Brigida, two-bar phrase. Now, because the sticking stays the same, you can actually add in your fill-ins. Move around the drums, and you're not putting the rest of the band off, if you know what I mean. You're sticking to the groove, you know, this sort of thing. And when you're going into, say, Macedonian wedding or something like that, you'll be dancing in 7 all night long and all that sort of business. Hey, Jared, take care, mate. See ya. My set is getting crashed by all these beautiful people. Anyway, so... Ladies and gentlemen, there's Jared Medwin over there. And There you go. It's all 7, but you can get a pretty funky beat going there, sort of thing. And I mentioned Macedonian weddings and also Greek beats and all. Oh, wonderful stuff. You dance all night in circles, and then you drink the ouzo, and then you fall over a little bit and have a great night. There you go. And that's what goes on. and that's how. Sorry, pardon me. Rodney Dangerfield again. I haven't been doing too many Rodney Dangerfield, So what happens is when you're going into doing these different kinds of things, I'm putting myself off, you really try and get a hold. There's always, geez, I'm dropping everything tonight. Oh, wow. And what happens is you really try and get a handle. You try and hold on to as much as you can in these days, Now, what goes on with this is that there's also a little thing, and seeing I'm on the, I not long mentioned Frank Zappa before I went that way, you can't do that on stage anymore, Volume 6, CD 2, Track 3, is a little thing called 13. And what happens is he actually, Mr. Zappa actually gets the audience to clap it. And it's actually something that I sort of explain in my lessons and book and all that is rock beat plus 1. And what goes on is that you can have a rock beat, but treat it like crotchets, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then either before it or after it, put in another grouping. So what can happen is, if I'm going to talk about 13, okay, and all that stuff, what can happen is that a rock beat in 4/4 has 8 quavers in it. So if you change the time signature 8/8, right, and then you add 5 at the beginning, okay, 5 plus 8 is 13. You're doing little add-ups, you see, like a little poppet in grade 3, or 2, or 1, blast off. Anyway, so what you got is hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, 4, 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 hippopotamus 1, 2, 4, hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, 4, hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, 4, hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, 4, hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, 4, hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, 4, hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, hippopotamus 1, 2, 3, 4, 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 1. Vinnie Colaiuta was playing on that track. If you don't like it, go argue with him. Okay, there you go. And what happens is that, therefore, if you're doing things like 3, 1, 2, 3, so you might go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I did 5. Or you could do it at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 11 because you've got 8 plus 3 now, you see. That's what goes on there. And with all of this, what happens is Lego. It's musical Lego, you see, because what's happening is you're putting in little sections and then you do what you do with it, that kind of thing. So when you start pulling out these numbers, out of a hat, that kind of thing, such as Indian raga and all that sort of stuff, and some of those beautiful people who do konakor, and all that sort of stuff. What happens, they have a whole system of this, okay? And you're not going to lose your soul or anything like that. It's wonderful. It's like for guitarists, it might be this beautiful scale that gives them that sound that they want, like a Mixolydian or a Draconian scale. Sorry, that's for Adam Sanfilippo. That's a Dorian mode. We make a joke about that. Or, I said Mixolydian, but sometimes we call it myxomatosis. Thank you, mother, for the rabbits, Oh, where's this show going? Anyway, there you go. So what goes on? You can go fully sick, mate, if you want to. There you go. So there's that. Lego. Musical Lego. But don't don't worry too much if it's like, I'll never use that kind of thing. It's just that it's in other cultures in spades. If you go across to Greece, you're going to get 7s in spades and 5s and all that. Same with Macedonia. Go to Eastern Europe, there's plenty of that. Go to India, you're going to get the lot. Over the lot, mate. You want garlic sauce with that, mate? Yeah, mate. Now, seeing I'm on the track of Zappa, there's a track off You Shut Up and Play Your Guitar. First track, I've got it on vinyl and it exploded out of my speakers. And it's a tune called 555. And once again, the aforementioned Vinnie Colaiuta is on that track. And what it is it's 5/8, hippopotamus, hippopotamus again. So it's 5/8, 5/8, 5/4, right? So you get hippopotamus, hippopotamus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hippopotamus, hippopotamus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hippopotamus, hippopotamus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hippopotamus, hippopotamus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it goes into a little 5/8 tag. Oh, I did a sneaky 7. There you go, you see. So that's what goes on there, and that's 555, okay? And then it just goes fully, and there you go with that. Now, this stuff is not new. This goes back ages, you know, that kind of thing. And what we're trying to do here, I've got to wrap up the show in a minute, but what happens is, what we're doing here is turning it into musical Lego so you can get a start. And once you get the start, you can start to move it around, you see. Because what starts to happen, if I just did a sort of a jazz thing. All of that was right, left, left, right, left. So forget. Paradiddle diddle in there with La Buddy Rich again, sort of thing. So what this is Lego. You put it all together, you see. So what starts to go on is that, you know, I remember, you know, when I was going to dear old Harold Ripper at the Melbourne Music Centre, 3rd floor of Sutton's. Well, the old timers might know about that. But he used to teach me things like the L shape and stuff, because you didn't have a 5. It was pre-5-piece kit. You'd have your normal 4. And so it'd be like, right, now Sonny Jimbo, right-hand accents on the floor tom, and left-hand accents on the high tom. And you do that, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. We all love our Harold, right? And there's your L shape. Car chase or something there. But anyway, there you go, you see. So that's what goes on. I'll never forget Harold one night. I went in and I hadn't long had Who live at Leeds, right? And what it was I went in and I said, "Oh, Keith Moon." And Harold said, "Mate, there's 50 drummers in Melbourne better than Keith Moon. You know, respect it all." That's it, no respect. I never get any respect, you know. One night I fell asleep, I fell asleep with a cigarette in my mouth. And my girlfriend at the time came along and lit it. Gotta be. That's one of those ones where, you know, I was going off to work one day, and I said to her, she said to me, we're moving. Went to work, came back home. She moved. No respect at all. There you go. So there's that. I mean, my mate Tim, that kind of thing. Like I said before, when he went off to his doctor, Dr. Vinnie Boom Baps, I'm going down Rodney Dangerfield, should I? For all the experience that Tim's had, he's just had his first book. He enjoyed it so much, he's going to read another one now. So. It's turned into vaudeville. Back to Lego for me. Anyway, so what it is tonight is being able to quintuplets there. Christmas, Rodney Dangerfield. I'm stealing all these bits. Anyway, I better wrap it up. It's our first time back. Dan the man, on the bees, and all that. Basically, on Monday, I got an email that night, and the very next day, dear Simon Barnett rang me up and said, "Are you ready to come back?" And I said, "Sure, just in a couple of weeks. What are we doing?" "No, we want you in on Friday." I went, "What?" That kind of thing. And this beautiful white drum kit, the PDP, which I call Delilah, I brought her home and I just put her inside the front door for 3 months. And she's come up pretty good. I haven't even done a thing. So I hope you get something out of tonight. It's Lego time. Okay, now I did a couple of things. Right, left, left. There's that. Hippopotamus. Right, left, left. Our beautiful Gina. Tony, you love me and you leave me. And then we go into the paramadoodles. You've got a single, double, triple, but then you split them down the middle, the right side and the left side, and you mix them up. So you might have right side single, left side double. And that is 5, 5, 8, 5, 16, depending on how you want to count it. There you go. All right, I'm out of here. I'm off to have a bit of editing cordial and to celebrate coming back to this beautiful space. Watch this space, because in a few weeks, a few different things I hope will be happening, and that will be a beautiful, brilliant thing, sort of thing. Lots of things happening in this theatre. You want to go and see at the Theatre 2 in there? Oh, wow. Okay, very nice. I like it. Anyway, there you go. So, beautiful place. Plenty of space, lots of distancing, everything done, beautifully done. Okay, I'm out of here. All right, my name is Chris Quinlan. It's Melbourne Musos Facechook Live at the Alex Theatre. So some things have changed. I actually changed my Facechook Bar and Grill for all the people that have been putting together clips while we can't do any gigging and all that sort of stuff. And I moved it to Friday, but now I'm going to have to move it back to Saturday. So it's tomorrow night I'm going to do a Facechook Bar and Grill for all the beautiful people that have put clips together and all that for you while we're all hunkered down, all that sort of stuff. And what happens is then perhaps on Sunday I might do a little bit of a Sunday weekend kind of a deal with Doris back at home, with the triggers and a few other sideways things, because this is a slightly different thing because of this, you see. All right? Now, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. Love you all. I'm going to love and leave you now. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And here we are. We're back live. Straight down the barrel, mate. The barrel. All right. Go off and have some editing cordial. You all deserve it. Mwah. Okay? Keep your social distancing. And don't forget that people need you now. Okay? Get out there. Get in amongst it. Get out. Have a beer. Hey! Take care. And I'm getting waved. Mwah. See you next week. Or soon.